Every great fortune begins in the invisible, in the thoughts, beliefs, and words we carry within. Before gold ever shines in your hand, it shines first in your mind. If you desire to be a millionaire, you must first think, feel, and act as one. For it is not money that creates the millionaire, it is the millionaire mindset that creates the money. Many chase riches only to find them slipping away, but the one who aligns his inner world with abundance finds that wealth is drawn to him effortlessly. Stay with me, for I will show you 6 key truths that can turn your mind into a magnet for prosperity. Miss even one, and you may miss your fortune. But embrace them all, and the world cannot keep your riches from you. Your mind is the richest field you will ever own, and every thought you plant within it grows into a harvest that shapes your destiny. Imagine your mind as a vast garden, open to receive whatever seed is sown, whether it be the seed of wealth or the seed of poverty, the seed of courage or the seed of fear. If you scatter careless words of lack, if you speak constantly of how hard money is to find, how little there is to go around, you are planting weeds that choke out abundance. On the other hand, if you deliberately choose words of increase, words of prosperity, and words of gratitude, you are cultivating a garden that will overflow with wealth. This is the first secret to a millionaire mindset. To guard the gate of your mind with vigilance, for whatever enters will eventually manifest in your life. So many people wonder why money never stays with them, why opportunities pass them by, why they struggle year after year without breaking free. It is not because the world has conspired against them, it is because their minds have been left unguarded. They have allowed the chatter of poverty, the echo of fear, and the doubts of others to settle in like unwanted tenants. They read the headlines that predict disaster, they listen to neighbors who complain about the economy, and without knowing it, they accept these ideas as truth. But the millionaire mindset rejects such intrusions. It does not permit every thought to enter. It stands like a watchman at the gate, asking, will this thought build my fortune or destroy it? Will this word strengthen my faith or weaken it? If the answer is no, the thought is cast out, the word is rejected, and the garden remains pure. Every time you say, I can't afford this, you write a decree that your subconscious obeys. Every time you complain, money never lasts. You are commanding scarcity to remain your companion. The millionaire does not speak this way. He or she replaces such words with affirmations of abundance. Money flows to me easily. My supply is endless. I prosper in all that I do. These are not empty words, they are seeds of power. The soil of the subconscious does not argue. It does not question whether the seed is true or false. It simply accepts what is planted and brings forth fruit accordingly. Guarding the gate of your mind means refusing to plant weeds and choosing only to plant the seeds of wealth. Consider the way a farmer guards his field. He does not allow stray animals to trample the soil, nor does he allow thieves to steal his harvest. He fences it, watches it, and tends it carefully. In the same way, you must build fences around your mind, fences of discernment, fences of self-awareness, fences of deliberate affirmation. When a negative thought approaches, you recognize it and deny it entrance. When words of defeat rise from habit, you catch them and transform them before they escape your lips. You are the keeper of your garden, and you alone decide what grows there. Guarding your mind also requires that you become selective about what you feed it. Just as the body cannot thrive on poison, the mind cannot prosper on a diet of doubt. If you constantly watch stories of failure, surround yourself with complainers, or indulge in conversations about lack, you are pouring poison into your mental soil. The millionaire mindset chooses a different diet. It feeds on inspiration, on stories of victory, on words of wisdom, on teachings that uplift. It seeks out books that ignite faith, conversations that breathe possibility, mentors who live in abundance. By feeding the mind with rich food, you ensure that only rich harvests can grow. Let us not forget the power of repetition. A single affirmation spoken once is like planting a seed and walking away. But a word repeated daily, consistently, faithfully, is like watering, weeding, and nourishing the soil. Over time, the seed must grow. This is why those who train their minds with constant affirmations of wealth eventually find that wealth surrounds them. They have guarded their minds from the invasion of doubt, and they have nurtured the seed of abundance until it blossoms. Repetition is the secret weapon of the millionaire mindset, and it is available to every person willing to use it. Guarding the gate of your mind also means you no longer allow yourself to be careless with jokes or casual remarks about money. Words carry vibrations, and even those spoken in jest plant seeds in the subconscious. How many times have you heard someone say, "I'm broke," laughing as though it were harmless? Yet the subconscious accepts those words as law, and soon enough, the condition mirrors the confession. The millionaire understands that every word is a command, so he speaks carefully, intentionally, and always in alignment with the wealth he desires. If he laughs with joy, saying, "Money loves me, I prosper everywhere I go," or "I always have more than enough." By doing so, he plants seeds of joy and abundance, and the harvest responds accordingly. There is also a subtle danger in listening too closely to the voices of others. Friends, family, or colleagues may mean well, but if their minds are filled with fear, they will spread that fear like a contagion. They may say, "Be careful, times are hard," or "Don't aim too high, you'll be disappointed," or "Not everyone is meant to be rich." If you let these words slip past the gate of your mind, they take root and grow like weeds. But the millionaire mindset thanks them politely and refuses to accept the seed. Instead, it affirms silently, "I live under divine supply. My wealth is secure. My fortune is certain." In this way, the garden remains protected from invasive weeds, and only prosperity grows. The discipline of guarding your mind is not a one-time act, but a lifelong practice. Every day, you must rise and stand at the gate, watching what comes in and what goes out. Every word you speak, every thought you permit, every idea you accept must pass the test. Does this lead to wealth, or does it lead to lack? In the beginning, this practice may feel difficult, for the old habits of worry and complaint may try to return. But as you persist, you will find yourself transformed. Your words will naturally align with prosperity, your thoughts will naturally lean toward abundance, and your entire being will radiate wealth. At that point, money and opportunity will be drawn to you, as surely as iron is drawn to a magnet. The law is simple. What you plant, you will harvest. If you wish to harvest millions, you must plant thoughts of millions. If you wish to harvest joy, you must sow joy. If you wish to harvest abundance, you must sow abundance. Guard the gate of your mind and plant only the seeds of wealth. Every affirmation is a seed. Every declaration is a seed. Every thought is a seed. Your future harvest depends entirely on the vigilance of your present planting. Those who understand this truth hold the key to fortune, for they know that riches begin not in the hand, but in the mind. Every fortune that has ever been created was first built in the invisible realm of thought. Long before a building rises, there is an architect's sketch. Long before an invention is brought to the world, there is an idea in someone's imagination. Long before money gathers in the bank, there is a vision of wealth in the heart of the dreamer. To see wealth before it appears is to step into the very law of creation itself, for everything you will ever hold in your hand must first be held in your mind. The mind is the workshop of the millionaire, and imagination is his greatest tool. Those who cannot see wealth with their inner eye will never grasp it in the outer world, but those who train their vision to see abundance, even when their pockets are empty, will soon draw to themselves the fortune they imagine. When you close your eyes and picture yourself living in prosperity, giving freely, moving through life with ease and confidence, you are setting into motion forces that the physical eye cannot see. These unseen forces respond to mental images the way soil responds to seeds. Whatever you vividly imagine, with faith and persistence, becomes the pattern that your outer world is compelled to follow. The mistake many make is that they use this same power of imagination against themselves. They picture bills piling up, they imagine rejection, they rehearse failure, and then they wonder why life unfolds according to those images. The millionaire mindset understands that imagination must be guarded and directed with intention. It does not allow daydreams of fear or worry to take root. It chooses to imagine success, expansion, and increase, knowing that what is pictured within will soon be expressed without. The practice of seeing wealth before it appears is not mere fantasy. It is disciplined vision. It is closing your eyes and deliberately creating a picture of the life you desire, until it feels as real as what you touch in the physical world. When you visualize, you must do so with feeling. To simply see a vague picture is not enough. You must step into the image and live in it as though it were already true. If you imagine driving a new car, feel the wheel in your hands. If you picture yourself in a beautiful home, imagine the sound of your footsteps on the floors. If you see yourself giving generously, feel the joy of blessing others. The subconscious mind responds most powerfully to images charged with emotion. The more vividly you feel the picture, the faster it will manifest. This is why so many who struggle financially remain in the same condition year after year. They continue to see themselves as poor. They continue to imagine lack. They continue to play the same film of defeat in their minds. Their outer world cannot change because their inner movie remains unchanged. But when you dare to see yourself differently, when you replace the old picture of limitation with a new picture of abundance, the outer conditions of your life begin to shift to match the inner vision. Your life is always reflecting the film that runs within. Change the picture, and you change the result. To see wealth before it appears requires faith. It means looking at an empty bank account and refusing to accept it as the final truth. It means gazing at your current condition without being deceived by appearances. Faith is the ability to look beyond what is visible and hold fast to what is possible. The millionaire mindset is never trapped by current circumstances, because it knows that today's lack is only a shadow of yesterday's thoughts. Tomorrow's wealth will be the reflection of today's vision. So when the outer world contradicts your dream, do not surrender the image. Hold it tighter, for it is the image that will eventually give birth to the reality. Visualization is not something to be done once and forgotten. It is a daily practice, a discipline of the mind. Just as a builder looks repeatedly at the blueprint while constructing a house, so must you return again and again to the picture of your desired wealth. Each time you revisit the vision, you make it stronger. Each time you live in the image, you weave it deeper into your subconscious. Over time, the vision becomes so familiar, so real, that the subconscious cannot distinguish it from present reality. At that moment, the outer world begins to rearrange itself to align with the inner picture. Opportunities come, ideas arise, people appear, and circumstances shift, all to fulfill the vision you have carried within. Some may say, "But I cannot see it. My imagination is weak." To them I say, begin where you are. If the image is faint, hold it gently and return to it often. With practice, it will grow clearer. Imagination is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Start by picturing small things, then larger. See yourself paying a bill with ease. See yourself receiving a gift of money. See yourself enjoying a meal without worry. As these images come to pass, your faith will grow, and you will dare to imagine greater and greater wealth. In this way, you train your mind to expect abundance, and expectation is the magnet of manifestation. Another key to this practice is gratitude. As you imagine your wealth, give thanks as though it were already here. Gratitude seals the image in your subconscious with the conviction of faith. When you say, "Thank you for my abundance, thank you for my fortune, thank you for my prosperity," you are declaring that the unseen is already yours. Gratitude bridges the gap between vision and reality. It says, "I believe it, I receive it, I rejoice in it now." The millionaire mindset always combines imagination with thanksgiving, for it knows that the thankful heart attracts even more to be thankful for. Be careful not to confuse imagination with longing. Longing says, "I wish I had this, but I don't." Imagination with faith says, "I already have this in the unseen, and it is now unfolding in my life." Longing keeps the desired thing at a distance, but faith-filled imagination draws it near. This is why you must imagine as though it were already so. act the part, speak the part, live the part. Move as though the wealth were already in your hands, and soon it will be. Life mirrors the image you hold with conviction. The greatest inventors, artists, and leaders of history were masters of this principle. They saw what was not yet visible. They held the vision when others doubted. They believed in the picture painted on the canvas of the mind until the world had no choice but to catch up. You are no different. The power that created fortunes for them is the same power that rests within you. Your imagination is the womb of your wealth, and your faith is the force that brings it forth. To see wealth before it appears is to walk in the creative law that governs the universe. It is to know that what you behold inwardly will be what you hold outwardly, and to live daily in the certainty that the unseen is even more real than what the eyes can see. Fear is the silent thief that robs more fortunes than poverty itself. It creeps into the mind disguised as caution, as doubt, as worry about the future, and it whispers that abundance is uncertain, that supply may run out, that wealth is fragile. But the truth is that fear is nothing more than faith turned upside down. It is believing in the power of lack instead of the power of supply, in the strength of obstacles instead of the strength of opportunity. To detach from fear and lack is to reclaim the power that rightfully belongs to you, for no one can hold abundance who still clings to fear. The millionaire mindset knows this, and it chooses faith over fear every single time. Think for a moment about how fear manifests in the realm of money. When a person fears losing what they have, they begin to clutch it tightly, refusing to release it, refusing to circulate it. They hoard rather than invest, they shrink back rather than expand, and soon their fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The wealth they feared to lose slips away, not because of fate, but because fear constricted the flow of abundance. Money is like a river, it must move to remain alive. Fear builds dams and walls, blocking the flow, while faith opens the channels and allows supply to rush in freely. Detachment from fear is the key that unlocks this flow, and once fear has been cast out, money begins to move towards you with ease. Another way fear operates is through hesitation. Many opportunities pass unnoticed because fear whispers, "It's too risky. What if you fail? What if it doesn't work out?" Those who allow fear to rule miss the doors that open for them. But the millionaire mindset listens to a different voice. It knows that divine supply is infinite, that ideas are unending, and that failure is only feedback. Instead of trembling at the thought of risk, the prosperous soul sees opportunity and steps boldly into it. Fear says, "Stay where you are." Faith says, "Move forward, for your supply is waiting." To detach from fear is to silence the inner hesitation that chains so many to mediocrity. Lack, too, is an illusion created by fear. Look at nature, and you will see proof of abundance everywhere. The sun rises each day without limit. The oceans never run dry. Trees produce leaves and fruit in countless numbers. The universe itself is expansive, constantly creating, constantly growing. Yet, in spite of all this evidence, many still live as though there is not enough to go around. They believe that wealth is scarce, that opportunity is limited, that prosperity belongs only to a few. But this is not truth. It is a story fear has told, and it has been repeated until it appears real. The millionaire mindset refuses this lie. It looks at the endless supply woven into the very fabric of creation and declares, "There is always more than enough." A fear tightens, but faith releases. When you fear the future, you tighten your grip and restrict the blessings that are meant for you. When you trust in supply, you open your hands and let abundance flow through you. Detachment from fear is not careless living, it is confident living. It is knowing that you are sustained by a source greater than money, greater than circumstances, greater than the economy. It is knowing that divine supply cannot fail, that you are never without provision, and that every need is already met before it arises. Fear cannot exist in the presence of such certainty. The millionaire mindset rests in this truth, and because it does, it is fearless in its pursuit of greater wealth. Think also of how fear robs peace of mind. Even when some manage to accumulate money, fear keeps them awake at night. They worry about losing it, about downturns, about unexpected disasters. Their riches become chains because their minds are enslaved to fear. But the one who detaches from fear lives in freedom. They enjoy their wealth because they know it is not fragile. They invest boldly because they know more is always available. They give generously because they know that what they release returns multiplied. Fear says, "What if it all disappears?" Faith says, "My supply is endless and secure." Detachment from fear is the difference between enjoying wealth and being enslaved by it. How do you break the grip of fear and lack? By replacing every fearful thought with one of faith. When fear says, "What if there is not enough?" Answer, "My supply is infinite." When fear says, "What if I lose what I have?" Declare, "What is mine cannot be taken from me, for it is divinely ordained." When fear says, "You are not capable," affirm, "I am fully equipped for success, and abundance is my birthright." Every time you replace a fear with faith, you weaken its hold. Every affirmation of truth strengthens the millionaire mindset and builds an inner fortress against lack. Detachment from fear also means releasing attachment to money itself. Many live in fear because they see money as their master. They cling to it, obsess over it, and measure their worth by how much they possess. But true wealth is freedom, not bondage. The millionaire mindset loves money, appreciates money, and respects money, but it does not bow down to it. It knows that money is a servant, not a master, a tool, not a tyrant. When you detach from the fear of losing money, you detach from money's false power over you. You begin to see it as it truly is, energy that flows, circulates, and multiplies. In this freedom, you handle money wisely, and it grows naturally in your hands. Another practice that dissolves fear is gratitude. Fear says, "I don't have enough." Gratitude says, "I am already rich in so many ways." Fear focuses on what is missing. Gratitude focuses on what is present. The act of giving thanks for the supply you already have transforms the energy of lack into the energy of abundance. When you thank life for every provision, every opportunity, every dollar, you are affirming the truth that supply is flowing to you constantly. Gratitude is a sword that cuts through fear and reveals the wealth that is already yours. The habit of imagining lack is one of the most dangerous forms of fear. Many rehearse failure in their minds, playing endless scenarios of how things might go wrong. They picture doors closing, opportunities slipping away, investments failing, and they call it being realistic. But reality is shaped by imagination. To see lack continually is to invite it. Detaching from fear means refusing to indulge these negative pictures. Instead, you deliberately imagine success, envision opportunities multiplying, and see yourself walking confidently in wealth. By painting pictures of abundance in your inner world, you cancel the images of lack and align yourself with prosperity. It is important to understand that fear will always try to return, whispering again when circumstances shake or when appearances deceive. Detachment does not mean fear never knocks on your door again. It means you no longer invite it inside. You may feel the tremor of worry, but you quickly replace it with faith. You may hear the whisper of lack, but you silence it with truth. Over time, this practice becomes second nature. Fear loses its voice, lack loses its power, and faith becomes the dominant tone of your life. The millionaire mindset is not one that never feels fear, but one that refuses to live by it. The law of giving is the law of increase, and every person who has truly built lasting wealth has discovered that money is not meant to stagnate but to circulate. To give is not to lose, to give is to multiply. The one who clutches every coin in fear finds that those coins slip through their fingers, but the one who gives freely, with joy and with faith, discovers that what is released returns in greater measure. The miser builds walls around himself, thinking he is protecting his treasure, yet those very walls shut out new opportunities and fresh abundance. The millionaire mindset understands that wealth must flow like a river. It cannot be dammed up without consequence, and it cannot be hoarded without decay. To give is to open the floodgates of prosperity, to set money in motion, and to invite an ever-increasing supply to pour back into your life. When you give, you declare with your actions that you are not afraid of lack. You proclaim to yourself and to the universe that you believe in an infinite supply. Giving is faith expressed in action. It says, I know more is coming, therefore I release what I have with joy. That release is an affirmation of trust, and trust is the magnet of abundance. On the other hand, withholding out of fear is a declaration of doubt. It says, I do not believe there is enough, so I must cling tightly to what little I have. That declaration invites scarcity to remain. Giving and lack cannot exist together, for giving dissolves the illusion of lack and aligns you with the law of increase. Think of the farmer who plants seeds in the ground. If he hoards all the seed in fear of losing it, his barns will remain empty, for no harvest can come without release. But if he sows generously, trusting that the earth will multiply what he has released, his fields will overflow with abundance. Giving is that sowing, and wealth is the harvest. Each gift you give is a seed planted in the soil of life, and life returns it multiplied. The miser believes he is safe by keeping his seed, but he has already ensured his hunger. The generous one believes he is richer by sowing, and his belief becomes reality as harvests overflow. Many misunderstand giving because they confuse it with sacrifice. Giving is never about loss. True giving is an act of joy, an act of recognition that supply is endless. It is not the amount that matters, but the spirit in which it is given. A coin given with gratitude carries more power than a fortune given with resentment. The energy behind the gift determines the harvest. When you give from a heart of abundance, your gift is charged with multiplication. It returns to you not merely as money, but as opportunities, as doors opening, as blessings flowing in countless forms. The millionaire mindset does not give to get, but it knows that getting is inevitable when giving is done with faith and joy. The circulation of wealth is one of the most profound truths of the universe. Just as blood must circulate in the body for health, and water must flow in the earth for life, so must money circulate for prosperity. When you give, you keep the current moving. You become a channel, not a reservoir. A reservoir grows stagnant, but a river is fresh and full of life. The millionaire does not fear becoming a channel, for he knows that the more he allows wealth to pass through him, the more flows to him. To give is to prove that you are capable of handling greater supply, for it shows that you do not worship money, but use it wisely and release it freely. The one who can let it go without fear is the one who can be trusted with more. Consider also the joy that giving brings. When you bless another with your wealth, you expand your own sense of richness. The act of giving shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already possess. It reminds you that you are not empty but full, not poor but rich enough to share. This awareness strengthens the millionaire mindset, for it roots you in abundance rather than in fear. Those who live only to accumulate find that their joy fades, but those who give discover that joy multiplies alongside wealth. Prosperity without generosity is poverty disguised, but prosperity with generosity is wealth overflowing. There is also a mysterious law that connects the spirit of giving with unexpected returns. Many who give without thought of return find blessings rushing toward them in ways they could never predict. A gift given to a stranger returns as a business opportunity. A coin dropped into the hand of someone in need returns as unexpected income. A meal shared with another returns as favor in the most surprising places. This is the invisible circulation of wealth, the law that ensures nothing you release in faith is ever lost. It comes back, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Some hesitate to give because they calculate only with the visible. They say, if I give this away, I will have less. But they fail to account for the invisible law that governs increase. They measure only what leaves their hand, not what is waiting to return. The millionaire mindset measures differently. It sees every gift as an investment in infinite supply, an act of planting that guarantees a multiplied harvest. It does not fixate on subtraction, for it knows addition is already set in motion. What appears to leave today is already on its way back in greater form. It is also important to give in alignment with joy. The millionaire mindset does not give grudgingly, nor under compulsion, but cheerfully and freely. If the heart is not in the gift, the flow is hindered. But when the heart is full of gladness, the channel remains wide open. Joyful giving affirms the truth that wealth is not a burden but a blessing, not a source of fear but a source of freedom. It is a declaration that you trust the source of all supply and that you are confident in its endlessness. This attitude transforms giving into a spiritual act, one that uplifts both the giver and the receiver. Giving also heals the mind of greed. Greed is the twin of fear, both born from the illusion of lack. The greedy hoard because they believe there is not enough, and the fearful cling because they do not trust the flow. Both are bound in poverty, no matter how much they appear to hold. But the generous, who give freely and fearlessly, prove by their actions that they believe in the abundance of life. They cannot be enslaved by money because they know they are always connected to its source. In this freedom, they attract more wealth, for wealth flows most easily to those who are not bound by it. To give is also to expand your own sense of identity. When you give, you no longer see yourself as one who struggles, but as one who overflows. You identify with abundance rather than with lack. You say through your actions, "I am a channel of wealth, and I always have more than enough to share." This identity strengthens your belief, and belief shapes your reality. The more you see yourself as rich enough to give, the more you become rich in truth. The millionaire mindset constantly affirms this identity, not only with words but with actions of generosity. Money that is kept too tightly loses its life. Money that is circulated grows and multiplies. Giving is the act that keeps your wealth alive, fresh, and expanding. It is proof that you are not ruled by fear, proof that you believe in infinite supply, and proof that you are aligned with the great law of circulation. The more freely you give, the more freely you receive. The one who gives little receives little, but the one who gives much receives much. This is not a punishment or a reward, but simply the law of flow. To give is to invite increase, to sow is to invite harvest, to release is to invite return. This is the secret the millionaire knows and practices, and this is why their wealth is never stagnant, but always expanding. Faith that never moves is only a shadow of faith, for true belief expresses itself in action. The world is filled with dreamers who imagine abundance, who speak of prosperity, who declare their desires with passion, yet they remain motionless. They wait for a perfect moment, a perfect sign, or a perfect guarantee before taking a step. But opportunity rarely bows to hesitation. Fortune opens her door to those who dare, not to those who linger. The millionaire mindset understands that wealth responds to bold action. It is not enough to affirm prosperity in thought and word. You must also embody prosperity in deed. To walk in bold action is to give proof to the universe that you are ready to handle the abundance you have envisioned. Bold action is not reckless action. It is not the frantic grasping of one who fears being left behind. Bold action is deliberate, guided, and infused with confidence. It arises from faith, not from desperation. When the inner vision is clear, bold action steps forward even when the path is not. It says, "I do not see every step, but I trust that the ground will rise to meet me." It does not demand certainty of outcome, for it knows that outcomes are shaped by persistence. Bold action is not waiting for every condition to align, it is creating alignment by moving. The millionaire does not stand still until the way is clear. He moves, and clarity unfolds before him. Think of those who have built great fortunes. They did not wait until every risk was removed. They acted when others hesitated. They spoke when others were silent. They invested when others clung to safety. Bold action distinguishes the prosperous from the impoverished, for wealth favors the one who has the courage to act. Hesitation drains energy, but action multiplies it. Each step forward generates momentum, and momentum is the ally of prosperity. Once you begin to move boldly, opportunities reveal themselves, resources gather, and support arrives. The river of wealth begins to flow only when the dam of hesitation is broken. Many believe they must wait until they feel ready. But readiness is not a feeling. It is a decision. You become ready by moving, not by waiting. The one who waits for confidence before acting will wait forever, for confidence is born through action. The millionaire mindset understands this truth. It takes the first step while others are still debating, and that step sets everything else into motion. Bold action is the language of readiness, the proof that you trust your vision enough to embody it. Each action you take is a signal to life that you are prepared for increase. There will always be risks in action. No door of opportunity opens without the possibility of failure. Yet failure itself is not the enemy, hesitation is. Failure teaches, shapes, and redirects. Hesitation paralyzes and suffocates. The millionaire mindset embraces failure as a teacher but rejects hesitation as a master. Bold action steps forward knowing that even if the outcome is not what was expected, the act of moving creates growth. Every failure contains seeds of wisdom, and those seeds bear fruit for the future. Fear of failure keeps many poor, but bold action turns failure into stepping stones for fortune. Bold action is also about speaking with authority. Wealth does not come to those who speak timidly of their dreams, apologizing for their desires. The millionaire mindset declares with confidence, "I will succeed, I will prosper, I will build wealth that blesses others." It speaks these words not only in affirmations but also in conversations, in negotiations, in decisions. Words spoken boldly create an atmosphere of respect and expectation. Others are drawn to those who carry conviction, for conviction inspires trust. Bold words open doors that timid whispers cannot. Action is not only what you do with your hands and feet, but also what you say with your mouth. Bold action speaks with authority and moves with certainty. Walking in bold action also means seizing opportunities without delay. Opportunities rarely wait. They appear like open doors, and if you hesitate, they close. Those who prosper recognize opportunity even when it comes disguised as challenge. They move quickly, knowing that fortune favors the prompt. To delay is to doubt, to act is to trust. The millionaire mindset does not waste energy in endless deliberation. It listens, discerns, and then moves. This willingness to act quickly sets in motion chains of events that others miss entirely. Wealth does not linger for the indecisive, but it multiplies for the decisive. There is a spiritual dimension to bold action as well. Action is a demonstration of faith. When you take a step without seeing the full path, you are affirming that you believe the universe will support you. You are proving that your trust is not merely in words but in deeds. Every bold action is an offering of faith, a seed sown into the soil of the unseen. And just as the farmer must sow before he can reap, so must you act before you can receive. Those who wait endlessly for assurance never sow, and therefore never reap. But those who move boldly even in uncertainty find that the harvest comes because they dared to plant. Bold action also requires persistence. One step is not enough. The millionaire mindset keeps moving, keeps acting, keeps pressing forward even when obstacles arise. Many begin with excitement, but stop when resistance appears. But resistance is not a sign to retreat, it is a sign that you are moving in the right direction. Bold action pushes through resistance, knowing that pressure produces diamonds. Every obstacle is an invitation to grow stronger, to sharpen your vision, and to prove your determination. The timid turn back, but the bold break through. In breaking through, they uncover treasures hidden from the faint-hearted. Walking in bold action demands courage, and courage is not the absence of fear but the mastery of it. Fear may whisper, "What if you fail?" But bold action answers, "What if I succeed?" Fear may say, "You are not ready," but bold action declares, "I am ready now, and I will grow as I go." Courage is not waiting until the fear disappears. It is acting while fear trembles in the corner. Each bold step diminishes fear, until fear has no power left. The millionaire mindset grows stronger with each act of courage, until bold action becomes a natural way of life. Those who practice bold action discover that life responds differently to them. Doors open that were once closed. People of influence take notice. Resources appear at the right time. It seems as though fortune itself conspires to support them. This is not coincidence but consequence. Life mirrors your movement. When you hesitate, life hesitates. When you move, life moves with you. Bold action aligns you with the current of increase, carrying you forward on the river of abundance. Those who refuse to move are left stranded, but those who act boldly are carried swiftly toward their dreams. Bold action is also about consistency. It is not one grand leap and then years of stillness. It is daily movement, daily steps, daily courage. The millionaire mindset treats every day as an opportunity to act. It does not postpone growth to tomorrow but seizes today with both hands. Small, consistent, bold actions compound over time into great wealth. What may seem insignificant in the moment becomes monumental when repeated with persistence. The wealthy are those who act boldly not once but continually, proving their readiness for greater and greater abundance. To walk in bold action is to embody your vision in the present. It is to live today as the person you intend to be tomorrow. It is to move as though the wealth were already in your hands, to act as though success were already assured, to step as though the ground beneath you were solid even before you see it. This is the posture of the millionaire mindset. It does not wait for permission, for certainty, or for guarantees. It steps forward boldly, knowing that faith-filled action draws the very resources it needs. Wealth responds to this boldness, and abundance flows to those who dare to act with courage, persistence, and unwavering trust.